I love about these old houses is to imagine how those early settlers dealt with the utilities, those things we take for granted. You know, like how do they heat the building, or how do they get potable fresh water into the building? This week we discovered a really cool artifact, so we called in the experts. Suzanne Cherau, you are a historical archaeologist. How are you?
Hi, Richard. I'm good. Yeah, I'm checking out this feature.
Yeah, tell us what you do. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm a historic archaeologist. I've been working in New England for over 30 years. We work on old house sites just like this.
Yeah.
Most of the time there's nothing left of the house. It's just the ruins, just the foundations. But we do find artifacts like this.
So take us through. We're looking at a cistern, right?
Yeah, I believe we're looking at a cistern, definitely handmade brick, so telling us it was built in the 18th century.
A cistern just collects water, right?
It just collects water, so it wasn't a well.
So they might have had this to collect rainwater and store some water.
Definitely, maybe for drinking, but definitely to wash, do laundry, you know, household chores, feed the animals, you know, that sort of thing.
So take us through the cistern. How do you build this thing?
This one was 2 bricks thick, and it looks like here the portion that was underground here, you know, there's definitely charring and burning on the outside of the bricks, which tells us that they look like they were reused from like a chimney or a fireplace. And the fact that there is no what we call builder's trench, which would have been darker soil, would indicate to us that it was constructed from the opposite side, and that these bricks were placed, put in place against either fill or natural subsoil. And this was definitely mortared all the way down to the bottom. There's where I've drawn this thin line just to kind of delineate between the natural subsoil. That's a very hard packed, you know, kind of glacial, granular, sandy soil. And then above that, it looks like they put a very thin course of parging, you know, to make it waterproof at the bottom, to prepare the bottom surface. It's sat right on the natural subsoil.
And there's a big opening at the top.
Right. That would have been for a trap door, say in the porch, and either, you know, just manually put a bucket down to collect the water that they needed for whatever chore, or at some point had a crank.
Yeah. So there would have been a lot of things going on in this little small yard, right? You would have had a well, you would have had a privy or two, a vegetable garden, you got the cistern, some outbuildings, and a lot of things to place in this small
space. They had to spatially arrange everything so that it worked, and hopefully didn't make them sick. You know, bacteria wasn't you know, well known back then, but they still kind of knew what made them sick and what didn't.
It must be a really fun job, actually. Imagine how people lived.
It is, it is.
Can we look inside?
Definitely.
All right.
Okay, so we would call this a bottle-shaped cistern.
Aptly named.
Aptly named, yes, primarily because of the shape at the top, and we would have this opening that would have had, you know, a cover. Okay. So that's the name.
Well, I've got a camera and a light. Let's see what it looks like down inside there. And I want you to hold this. You can see what we got. I'll tell you one thing, I'm amazed. It just looks like it's still almost brand new.
Right, there's definitely parging in the inside, just like we thought there'd be for the waterproofing.
Let's see what we got down at the bottom. So it's about 7 feet deep, a little bit of debris at the bottom, but that would be expected after all this time. It's actually amazing the kind of shape it's in. It's crazy.
It was well made.
It was.
Definitely well
And
made.
I see the evidence of a lead pipe right here.
Yep, so that would have gone inside the basement of the house.
So as the water level came up, it would have forced water over the top of that, what they call a crown, and it would have allowed you to draw water inside.
Yep, spigot inside.
Looks like it went in yesterday. Well, thank you, Suzanne. It was great having a resident expert available.
Well, thank you, Richard, for inviting me. It was a wonderful way to spend my afternoon.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.